Main event Jey Uso might not be a main eventer. That's what a lot of WWE fans are saying right now, as it looks like Jey Uso is heading into WrestleMania as more of an afterthought than the main eventer, winner of the 2025 Royal Rumble that people had him pegged as. And unfortunately for Jey Uso, this comes with some fan backlash as well, as we've seen a WWE YouTube video featuring Jey Uso prominently getting downvoted into oblivion just a couple of weeks from Jey main eventing, maybe, WrestleMania. We're going to talk about why this is happening, why Jey Uso went from one of the most over acts in WWE to now people questioning not only whether or not he's going to main event WrestleMania, but if indeed he's going to win. And we're going to try to answer all of those questions right here in this video. So be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Let's dive right in. In the aftermath of Jey Uso winning the Men's Royal Rumble, there was a sense of celebration in the air amongst the WWE universe. Whether you were a lapsed fan or an engaged fan, you noticed that this was a bit of a changing of the guard. Everyone expected John Cena, the doctor of thugonomics, the man who was entering his final year in WWE, to win that Rumble in what was probably one of the more predictable Rumbles going into it of all time. Yet WWE shocked everybody, and even Jey Uso himself, by having him win. And in my view, I thought it was a great decision, because you took the Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania from a predictable one to one that could have taken any turn that you wanted, and one that even fans didn't see coming. You could have had Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes finish their story. They have been together. They have been tag team partners. They have been fighting in so many different ways. They've always been entangled in WWE. And having a story where Jey Uso faces off against Cody Rhodes and a culmination of their entire relationship in WWE could have been cool. You also have what they're doing right now with Jey Uso and Gunther. And even though Jey Uso and Gunther is a match that people just saw at Saturday night's main event, there was a lot of promise coming into this feud because the way that they were playing it up. They weren't just playing this up as, oh, Jey Uso, you're getting a rematch. They were saying that Gunther is in Jey Uso's head because Gunther's already beaten him. Gunther views Jey Uso as less than. He views Jey Uso as somebody who doesn't deserve the spot that he's in, and he sees Jey Uso as someone who is disgracing the ring. And I thought that was a really cool story. And I think still there's the potential for a really good story. But that's where we get into the issue with all of this. Jey Uso stands in WWE today as one of the most over acts in the entire company. There is no debate. Everybody is yeeting. And at WrestleMania, everybody is going to continue to yeet. Whether he opens the show or closes the show, which we'll talk about because ain't no way he's closing the show. Regardless, that crowd is going to go absolutely bonkers when or if Jey Uso appears or even wins the title. But I don't think that's going to happen. And a lot of that is because of the way that this story has not really been built up. Jey Uso, while featured prominently on TV, is not really being built up to be a big challenger. And in a main event scene like the one that WWE has right now, where you have CM Punk, where you have Roman Reigns, where you have Seth Rollins, where you have Cody Rhodes, where you have John Cena, where you have The Rock taking up the shine from people. The issue is that you have the new stars you're trying to building not in that top tier spot. And it is not a question of whether or not they deserve it. It's not a question of whether or not you should put them in. It's a question of how far are you willing to go to give them that level of importance. Because right now on Raw, the show that Jey Uso is on, he's not the most important thing on the show, and neither is the championship belt. And if the way that they're going with this John Cena stuff and the Cody Rhodes stuff, where it looks like they're going to be on both Raw and SmackDown moving forward, it doesn't look like to me that Jey Uso is even going to be a top 4, top 5 thing on the show moving forward. And it's a bit of the problem with WWE today and Triple H's booking. Triple H, while is a master at creating major moments, his biggest flaw is that a lot of times he just relies on the wrestlers being over to do the job. And it feels like, especially with this Jey Uso stuff right now, we're on cruise control until WrestleMania. It feels like we're just having Jey Uso come out here, yeet, and not really tell much of a story, which is kind of an abandonment of what got Jey over as he is in the first place, and also where this story between Jey and Gunther began. Because if you go back and look at Jey Uso, why people were invested in him, it was because of the stuff he was doing with the Bloodline. It was because of the relationship and the story that he had built up with Sami Zayn, with Roman Reigns, with his brother. All of that stuff was because Jey Uso was legitimately featured as a compelling character that you saw week to week to week advance, that you saw go in different directions, that you saw develop. And I just don't believe that they've done that since he won the Rumble. I think it's been on cruise control, and I really do think that for WWE, they view it right now as something they don't need to pay attention to. Because at the end of the day, if the people are going to cheer anyway, if the pops are not going to be any louder, then why do they need to do anything else? And in a way, they're kind of right. Because as long as Jey Uso continues to be over, as long as the fans continue to yeet, as long as he just comes out there and cuts what many believe to be a nothing promo, but still gets a reaction, WWE is not going to feel like they need to adjust. And I am not trying to drag Jey Uso at all. I think Jey actually became one of WWE's most compelling storytellers in 2022 and 2023. I just don't think he's gotten back to that level since then. And the unfortunate part is that I think that is another reason why he is not going to main event WrestleMania. And when we say main event, we all know what I mean. Everyone out there wants to say, oh, there's multiple main events. All right, look, let's be honest. There's two main events because there's two nights of WrestleMania. The main event is what closes the show. You can make the argument that opening the show is important, and I will agree with you. You can make the argument that having a big match at WrestleMania in itself is an accomplishment, and I will agree with you. But to say something is the main event is to say that this is what people are sticking around for until the end of the night. To say something is the main event is to say this is the match that deserves to go on last. To say something in the main event, this is the story that WrestleMania has culminated to. So in my view, I think that if WWE were invested enough in Jey Uso, they could have made this happen. They could have put Jey Uso in a position to be a main eventer. But combined with a lack of character development and just being on cruise control, and also other stars just being as big as they are and more prominently featured, for WWE, they just did not do him justice. They have not done the Jey Uso character justice. They have not done the man, I think, justice. And they have not done the story justice. And we want to talk about storytelling. We want to talk about character development. These are two things that at one point WWE was able to hang their hat on and say that they were amongst the best in the business at doing. However, right now, it does seem like they are a far, far, far fetch away from where they once were. It doesn't mean they can't get back to it. It doesn't mean that Jey Uso won't be the guy, but I also think that it puts Jey Uso, and the way that this has gone puts him in jeopardy of losing at Mania. I don't see a world where Jey Uso wins at this point. I don't think that would be a good position for Jey, because while the pop would be amazing and everyone would be eating, I think the night after is what concerns me. The week after is what concerns me. 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks after. What do we do? Because otherwise, I think you end up wasting what would have been otherwise an awesome moment if you had a story. That's just me, though. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this? Do you think Jey Uso is cooked in WWE? Do you think I'm overreacting? I want to hear from you. Please keep it respectful in the comments, by the way. Let me know what you guys think. Also, be sure to smash that thumbs up like it's no tomorrow. Just click that button, baby. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.